Welcome back to The Kind Show. John Morales, Mara Stevens, and as promised earlier, we are going to introduce very shortly here our very special guest, Roger Christie, and this is kind of a first for us. Usually it's the both of us here talking story, but today we're going to have Roger Christie come on. So Roger, can you please come out and join us?
Hey, Roger.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi there.
Aloha.
John.
Thank you for being on The Kind Show.
Appreciate the invite.
I'd like to start out by mentioning to some viewers out there who may not be familiar with Roger's work. Roger Christie has been on the Big Island for quite some time now, and he's been a proponent, advocate, organizer, etc., of the hemp movement here on the Big Island. So I'm going to start out by asking you, Roger, I'd like to make this as educational as possible for the short period of time that we have. But I'd like to clarify, what is the difference between hemp and what a lot of us here on the Big Island also commonly know it as marijuana? What's the difference between those two?
Hemp is a generic term for any bast fiber plant. So hemp can be, it's commonly known as cannabis sativa or cannabis indica because it's a plant, an annual plant, that you can make fibers from the stalk. And that fiber is right here. I brought a little fiber.
Okay, and these are stalks of the hemp plant that have been stripped to what, make?
What time is it? It's hemp education time. And I want to thank you all for coming. The advertisements that went out indicated that the two keynote speakers were going to be Jack Herrera, author of the book The Emperor Wears No Clothes. And we beg your indulgence and hope you'll listen up and visit the hemp booth behind the campus center here and see the 100% organically grown hemp cloth and smell or taste the hemp seed that we have roasted and ground for your pleasure there. My name is Roger Christie. I'm visiting from Pahoa on the Big Island. That's kind of been ground zero in the state's war on marijuana. We think that's the ideal place that the healing begins, and we create peace out of this war. I believe that I'm ultimately responsible for my life and for the world around me. So a few years ago, I decided to look into the war on marijuana and see if I could figure it out, see what's behind it, what makes it go, how come it's been going for so long and seems to be so unfair and so unjust. What you're going to hear today and see today is some of the things that I found out and my friends have found out in our research into this situation. And the history has proven to be very rich in facts and philosophy concerning this plant. The science is well done, it's well researched, and it's in place now that we can use to create peace and prosperity in the state of Hawaii, and around the United States and around the world as well. My goal, my intention, and my prayer in this issue is to shed enough light on this subject so that we create a whole new understanding for what the hemp plant is, commonly known as marijuana. And finally, that we create a peaceful solution for all, those who are for it and those even who are opposed to it. It's my opinion that the war on marijuana is an idea whose time has gone. It's been showing us precisely what not to do to solve this particular situation. We have a military effort against the civilian population, helicopters, fighter jets, speeding over the Big Island at treetop level, scaring the people and the animals and of the Big Island and the other islands as well. In response to the question asked a few minutes ago, can anybody join the Hemp Council, the Hawaiian Hemp Council? The Hemp Council is designed as a group that's an open council. And what we do is we have an office on the Big Island, a full-time office, and our phone number over there is 965-2626. You can call information in the state of Hawaii, ask for the Big Island, and ask for their listing on hemp or marijuana, and you'll get our phone number. You can also ask for the phone number for NORML, the National Association for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, or if you remember the term Pakaloha, ask the operator for the phone number for Pakaloha, and they will all get you in the same place. And what we do is we work full-time to spread the news and information and enlightenment about hemp and seek to turn this insane war to peace and to create prosperity throughout Hawaii and the world for all of us. You know, certainly in my estimation, I'm sure in yours, there is way too much suffering in our islands and on our planet. There are way too many people that are starving and ill from lack of protein and good food. There are way too many people without shelter. There are way too many people without warm, strong clothing. There are far too many people without the safe and effective medicines that'll be used for compassion to keep them alive and build up their health and immune system. It's almost as if we're all passengers on this bus that's heading for the cliff, and it's time for us to get behind the wheel and help steer.
And since then, an enormous amount of information has come my way, and I've met many great people who are interested in finding the truth and creating what we now call the hemp solution out of the marijuana. What if? Question mark. What if this information is in fact true? What if hemp was legal for us to use for the compassionate use for medicine, for the industrial uses for biomass? What if we could make clean burning fuel right here on the Big Island that wouldn't pollute? And what if this was true? It's a very real possibility and likelihood that with these earth-friendly, high nutritious recipes, for instance, that we could see that people don't go hungry on the Big Island and throughout the state.
Read up about it. There are three main points that I'd like to make tonight, and one is that we're here to create a dialogue. In other words, we want to create the peace talks in the war on marijuana. A key ingredient here, it was a revelation to me personally. Wayne Metcalf, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, came up to me afterwards, shook my hand, and said, "Thank you for showing up here today. If you hadn't have shown up, we would have passed the bill." Another little success note. This coming Monday, we're actually having a small meeting at the legislature with some senators, the senator in charge of the agriculture, the senator in charge of environment, and a couple of other heavyweights. And we've informed them about hemp. We've given them some of the documentation over the last few weeks, given them Hemp for Victory movies, given them Jack's book. They have told us that they are now ready to talk about non-smoking uses of the hemp plant in Hawaii.
Drug enforcement officials say this summer's operation makes an important political point, showing that the U.S. is actively engaged against all illegal drugs, including those grown on American soil.
The cannabis hemp plant can be very beneficial in helping to alleviate the lack of good food, warm clothing, and adequate shelter for citizens in Hawaii and also all over the world. We're guaranteed the right to privacy. And if someone is growing a small amount for personal use in their yard or in their home, or they use it in their home, we are quite convinced that it is legal. And marijuana is one of the safest therapeutically active substances known to man. And for some reason, we think it's corporate special interests, they are keeping it from the people that need it for compassionate medical use.
We are definitely...
I come to you today to oppose Bill number 26, the monies to come from the federal government to the county of Hawaii. I urge you not to accept this blood money. Studies show that it leads to hard drugs and violence. The eradication of marijuana on this island, it's too hypocritical to even get a grasp of. The prohibition of hemp undermines the morals of the people of the Big Island and elsewhere, and it makes a tragic joke of the criminal law in the eyes of our children and everyone who has a consciousness and understanding of what's going on with this particular situation. For our children's health and welfare, for old-fashioned values of liberty and privacy, for economic prosperity on the Big Island, and maybe most of all in this season, for peace on earth, please oppose Bill number 326. Happy holidays to all of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christie. Any questions? No questions.